these genetic studies allow us to map the migrations of humanity. And so this particular article summarized the archaeological and the genetic, both mitochondrial and Y chromosome studies. And I'm not going to, and they were able to map when the out of Africa migrations, when human populations emerged from Africa, where they went, when they went. I'm not going to go through the whole map, but relevant to our discussion, we learned that one, Africa, in many ways, is the womb of humanity.
Absolutely.
Arabia, we now know, is the cradle of humanity. Yeah. The archaeogenetics indicates that the non-African human population today originates from a group of Africans around 100,000 years ago to 70,000 years ago, who left Africa, that critical out of Africa dispersal, and where'd they go? Went to Arabia. And they settled and developed in Arabia. And only after settling and developing in Arabia, from 5,000 to 10,000 years, the genetics tells us, they dispersed to the rest of the world, north into Eurasia, east into the Indo-Pak area, Iran area. And in particular, this is critical because at around 50,000 years, Newsweek informs us, a population left Arabia, traveled north, and settled in the area of the two rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates, soon continued down into Iran, Persia, now into the subcontinent. That is to say, autochthonous populations of Mesopotamia. Now talk about the Sumerians. We talk about Sumerian civilization. We can, again, triangulate this discussion with Sumerian material. My focus today is only on Indic and Islamic material, but we can branch this out and make the same point with Nile Valley materials and Tigris-Euphrates materials. But the point I want you to see here is we now know the reason for the commonality between the black Arabians and the black Indians. The reason for the commonality is that ultimately a population emerged out of Arabia after having developed it for millennia, after arriving there from Africa, developed there, migrated, and peopled this area. So we should not be surprised that of the commonalities, the nexus between Arabian culture, ethnicity, and religion, and Indian culture, ethnicity, and religion. You follow?
Yes, sir.
So this doesn't surprise us that the courtyard at the main mosque in Old Delhi, Old Masjid in India, where you have the basin or the bath where Muslims do wudu, purify themselves with water before prayer, ritual prayer, that when defendants and Dologist Oscar Parpella tells us that from the inscriptions it appears that the concept of ritual purity was very important to the ancient Indic religion. And we know that in ancient Indus Valley there was a great bath for ritual purposes. That ablution, that wudu, was practiced by our people in ancient India. We are surprised. We understand why there would be this similarity. And, you know, I'm a Muslim, but I don't wear a beard. I'm not mocking the beard. But I don't wear a beard as a Muslim for a very definite and unapologetic reason. I'm not going to get to that right now. But I want to call our attention to this. You know, many Muslims will say, I'm not a Muslim because I don't have a beard. Right? And because my eyebrows make it clear, Brother Ranoko, that my lack of a beard is not because I have facial hair growth problems. I don't have a problem with facial hair growth. I shave. But the prophet told us to shave our mustache, but don't shave our beard. Well, Wesley, why do you shave your beard and keep your mustache? That's another subject for another time. Go ahead. But I want to highlight the fact that I bear witness that the prophet said it. That is the sunnah of the prophet. It's not the sunnah of God. It's the sunnah of the prophet. And we have here, wrap up, the trimmed mustache and the full beard. Well, this is the famous statue from Indus Valley, the so-called priest king. One of the most remarkable finds of the Indus Valley. And notice, you know, his big African nose was knocked off. There are many. I have a report on Brother Ranoko. An analysis of all of the human sculptures found in Harappa, Mohenjo-Daro. And it's remarkable how they know all of the missing noses. But they found one that looked like the nose was narrow, and they reconstructed it. The one they thought had a narrow nose, they reconstructed it so the people would see it. But those who suffered not accidental damage, but purposeful damage, because the damage is the same. So much else is intact, but the nose is broken off. But notice, this African from India, no mustache but beard. The black prophet Muhammad, it didn't originate as his sunnah. It was a practice that preceded him, and just one brief illustration of the nexus between ancient Indic sacred science and Islam. Now, and 2 more slides, I'm done. This is what I document Hinduism as a religion is anchored in, is a continuation of the religion of black India. It's a Aryanized version of the religion of black India. And the most important figure in Hinduism is Vyasa, who is said to be the author or the editor, chief editor of the Vedas, the sacred text of Hinduism, authored the great epic Mahabharata. He's black. The science, but he has, his name is Krishna. Now this is a very poor representation. This is black. He's been Aryanized.
What?
The Aryanization of Hinduism is the brother to the Aaronization of Islam, as illustrated, for example, by Ali, the most holy figure in Iran, the cousin of the Prophet, who by all accounts was jet black, his black-skinned man with big eyes, big, heavy eyes, a pot belly, all of them, he's black. But if you go to India, you ask about Vyasa, this is what you see, even though all of the accounts have him looking like this. Likewise, if you go to Iran, you ask about Ali, this is what they will show. The Aaronization of Hinduism, the Aaronization of Islam are two peas of a pod. Ironically and poetically, as I call it. The African origin of Hinduism and the African origin of Islam are peas of a pod. I would like, with no further delay, to bring let's give it up for our brother.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I want to thank Dr. Wesley for a brilliant presentation. Please give him another big round of applause. You talked about me so much, I made up my mind while I was sitting back there that I'm going to be the one who runs for president in 2016. I would use Atlanta as a base. I'm just a real simple historian, just a humble African, and I'm really pleased to be here. I'm on my way to Norway, of all places. We do have a new book coming out. In fact, that's how this program came to be. We expected the book to come out this week, our new book, which is called African Star, what's the name of the book? African Star Over Asia, the Black Presence in the East. And this is, I wouldn't say an update of the work that we did with Dr. Van Sertima. All the essays are new. Even the old ones have been revised and expanded. And that's a huge area. The African presence in Asia. Asia is a big place. And so I looked around for other people, particularly younger people, who could contribute. And the person that stood out, first and foremost, was Dr. Wesley Muhammad. I've been hearing about, this is the first time we've met today, but I've been hearing about this brother for a number of years, and you know, I never heard anybody say anything bad about him. I spend a lot of time on Facebook. I think of myself as the pharaoh of Facebook. Yes, everybody needs to be the pharaoh of something. I'm the pharaoh of Facebook. And I remember, I post a lot of questions, getting a lot of trouble as a matter of fact. I ban a lot of people on Facebook. But fortunately, the amount of people who want to be Facebook friends outnumber those that I ban. So the numbers are always growing. So one time, several years ago, no, it wasn't even that long ago, maybe 2 years ago, I posted a comment or a question about who are the upcoming scholars, who are the people who are the successors of some of those who have come before us. And Wesley Muhammad's name was the one who was mentioned most consistently. So for me, he is like a breath of fresh air. He is a pillar of strength. I'm getting up in years now. And I realized even a long time ago that individually you can only do so much. We need a collective endeavor. We need a collective crusade.
Yes, sir.
And so with Wesley, he's just like a pillar of strength to me, a strong right arm. And I have so much respect for him, not just as a scholar, but as a man and as a black man. So my brother, it's an honor to be with you. For Humble Renoko, I'm just going to show you all a bunch of pictures. That's it. I'm not even going to stand at the podium. Let's see. I don't even know if this will work with mine because I'm not doing a PowerPoint presentation. I'm just doing showing a lot of pictures. Let's see. I'll tell you what. Why don't you all